Hajime Mashite noobs. My name is Elias. This is Rise Alignment, and for everybody else, you know how we do. Roll the tape.
Hello, quick update. Patrick Bet David reached out to me shortly after I posted saying that he has to apologize. He should address the whole Christopher Delgado situation. That video is here. I uploaded it because I thought it is not going to make sense what we're talking about unless you have that context. He immediately DM'd me saying, hey, look, I want to call. So I'm posting this video immediately afterwards, unedited, because I want you guys to hear my call with Patrick Bet David. I addressed the apology. You know, you should apologize for taking this guy on, this Ponzi scheme. You promoted it. You'll hear me talk about the $1 million. Say, hey, can you commit right now to getting this money back to the victims of this scheme? And finally, I asked him, you know, what he has to say to the, people who go to his Vault conference and want answers. Okay, just confirming that I'm recording starting now. This is Patrick Bet David. We're talking about the Vault conference sponsored the Goliath Ventures. Look, ultimately the big question is this. One, are you returning the $1 million paid to your consulting company back to the receivership, back to the victims? And two, I mean, I think, look, a lot of people got hurt in this. You were the number one, probably, credibility person in this. How does that feel? I mean, are you going to apologize? Are you going to address it, publicly? I think people want to know. People look to you, as this entrepreneurship guy. It is, frankly, a bad look.
Yeah, so first of all, you hate to see things like this. Hate to see things like this that happens. And
Big true. I would hate to be that guy who's tied his name to a thing and then it turned out to be a scam. That would be really shit for everybody involved.
once in a while this takes place. When an issue like this comes up.
What? Call just dropped? Bro? Hold on, let me call him back. Patrick, how's it going?
Okay, I'm good now. I'm in the backyard. Service is good. Go for it.
We're back. Okay, so just to recap the question, you've got $1 million coming to you from Goliath Ventures. And first of all, I'd like to know where that's money's going. Secondly, a lot of people got hurt by this. You are the number one voice of credibility in all of this, kind of putting this guy on, so to speak. I mean, what do you have to say to people who lost money? I mean, do you apologize to them? What can you do to make it right? All these questions.
Yeah, so look, all valid questions. This is, typically when we do sponsorship, if you know anything about me, Steven, I hate doing sponsorships. We stopped doing sponsorships on the podcast 2 years ago because of this exact reason. We literally stopped. It's probably cost us $15 to $20 million of sponsorship the last 2 years. The only place we've taken sponsorship money for, outside of the basic YouTube AdSense that you get, that you're accustomed to it as well, we do the events. So if I do a Vault conference, there's a moment for networking and people set up their booth. And so this guy came to the Vault conference for the last 4 years. And at the end of it, one of my reps comes up to me. I've never spoken to him. We've seen him at the event, typically with everybody else. And he says he wants to be the title sponsor. Okay, great. He goes through the whole thing. We go through the background that our legal team does. Obviously, we make reference calls. We call others to see what they can say about him. And we call people that we had known for 10 plus years.
Nobody flagged him. Nobody flagged the 4 to 5% a year. Or a month, I'm sorry.
No, it's a fair question. It's the most disappointing thing. Not one person that's done business with him flagged him. Okay. And so then we say, great, let's go through the sponsorship. Now, when you do sponsorship,
I feel like Coffeezilla is gonna have some smoking gun that's no, all these people right here were definitely this guy's sketchy as all heck, dude. Don't. Why'd you get in bed with him? Just the way his face, he's just and very politician-ass answer I'm getting right now. Doesn't it feel very, slimy? I'm talking you down in a way and around from the actual point of the question. Just feels very, political or conniving or chicanery-esque avoidance here.
you have to deliver on stuff. So meaning we have to set up the booth, we have to set up all these different place where people walk up to them, these 20 by 30, 30 by 30, 40 by 40 booth that you create for them, that they have an opportunity for people to go through. So we flew in. Typically when somebody becomes a sponsor, we fly in, we meet them in Vegas, and then we show them, or whatever hotel we're going to be at, and we'll say, hey, here's your location. You're the title sponsor. We're going to put it here. And then, their logo is going to be in different places, but it's not a endorsement. So it's not like I endorse. It's a sponsorship.
It does feel like an endorsement, though.
You're right. No, you're right. I agree. And by the way, again, we learn.
It's at your event, bro. Like, if it's not like, because in everyone's mind it's like, we assumed you did the legwork to know that the person that you were allowing at your event, sure, they might have paid you that money, but like, use some of the money they paid you to make sure that you're not scamming us, bro. Like, you're supposed to be legit. Can't we believe that your words are worth like anything? Or is it all just like, just say the nice slimy words that'll just give us, to make you give us our money to you? Like, bro, what are we doing here?
So for us, we said we're gonna do two. What do you call it? The Vault Conference is brought to you by Goliath. Okay, so we did that a couple times because that was part of the title sponsor. By the way, we've changed our entire title sponsor stuff that we're doing. Where if it's not like a Fortune, 2000 company, we don't even want to entertain it, because sometimes the best way is to make sure other investors have vetted them. And listen, in this space, there's a lot of risk in any of this space you get into.
Right, but he's the title sponsor. This is just last year. This isn't like 5 years ago.
No, you're
and
right.
And it was 3 endorsements. At one point it sounded like an ad read. You're like, the 3 pillars or this. It like read like ad copy the way
Not
you're
an
reading
endorsement.
it.
No, we never did endorsement. We said it's sponsored. And by the way, just so you know, there's certain things I can talk about. There's certain things I can't, because we're cooperating with the federal authorities, and we're having meetings with them. We're having conversations with them. All of this stuff will be public. We've learned a lot of things about
You've
this
been
guy.
subpoenaed, right? Like, you have been subpoenaed, correct?
Of course, absolutely.
So are you going to turn the money over? That seems to be an important question.
That's the conversation we're in right now, and you will hear all about it when the decision is made.
Well, what decision? I feel like we could make a decision now and do a good thing,
Steven, I know what you're doing. The part that you don't know about the way I do business, I don't avoid you. Meaning, if you and I did something together many years, I'm not a guy that's going to be sitting there running, avoiding. When we make mistakes, we'll call it out. When we do things that is right, great, we're celebrated. This is not one of the things that we're celebrating. We're not happy about this, and we're doing a lot of things behind closed doors. The part that I'll give you one part that I think it's important to know, and for your audience to know, the part that a lot of people they're concerned with, and I'm talking specifically the authorities, is the people that were working with them getting paid big money. Those are the ones that they're targeting in a big way. We've not, this wasn't you know how sometimes you do certain crypto deals and it's like, hey, affiliate, you're going to get this much money for this affiliate. Zero. We didn't accept nothing like that. So there isn't, hey, we're going to pay you an additional, 10% on whatever that's done. Zero. We don't do business.
Right. You got paid the.
Does he know who he's talking to? Coffeezilla, the crypto scam guy, doing affiliate crypto sponsors deals? Like, what the actual fuck is? Sometimes I recently watched a video that was like criticizing Patrick Bet-David or something about him. It was either him or one of his co-hosts, Adams, who was just like an unprofessional meathead, and I think it was this random video about a course or a breakdown of Patrick Bet-David talking about dating. Like, he was like trying to be a businessman, like talking head authority figure on the thing that he hasn't done in almost 30 years of his life, and in a completely different era when there wasn't the whole internet and dating apps and women hyperinflating their egos because of all the attention that they can get from dudes. And somebody in the comments was basically just like, this guy is like your uncle who just thinks that he knows everything about everything and is just gonna try to like little bro you to death. It just says whatever he thinks is gonna like sound intelligent without actually ever getting to a point or like distilling any wisdom or knowledge to you.
But you got paid the million, right? And so,
$1 million has
and
hard
look,
costs,
I'm
Steven.
not.
It's not like
I
$1
know
million
it
a day.
sounds like I'm trying to put you on the spot. I'm not. It just seems like you're gonna have to fork it over eventually for the receivership, anyways. Like so many people lost money. It seems
you
like an
actually-
easy
you-
win, you know.
And that's the part where, that's the part where I'm in right now. You gotta respect that part that I'm going with. I gave you the respect of getting on a call with you and giving you the information. The information will come out.
No, I appreciate it. So
Some of
you're
the
not
stuff
sure
is
whether you're paying the money back yet or not. You're
That's
just
not-
you're having
that's
those
not what I'm saying.
conversations.
But here's the other part that you also don't know. You don't know if we're doing other things with the conversations we're having with others. There's a lot of different things that we're doing that's not public. The only thing you know is the stuff that you're hearing.
Okay.
What we have to do right now is individually, as we're going through this, a matter of fact, I'll make a commitment to you. Once everything is finalized with this, you'll be the first phone call that I'll make to share with you, because over the years you've been fair to me and I respect the fact that we have this relationship. I think you do a very good job. This was definitely not a good look. We're not happy about this ourselves. I take 100% of responsibility as the face of this company. And we have to get better next time. We just do.
Right. So obviously y'all are about to run the Vault conference again. You know, it might be a reasonable concern. You know,
And
people.
guess what? You want to know something? We're about to run the Vault conference again, and we don't have a title sponsor for this exact reason.
Because because you were worried about it, or nobody coughed up the million.
No, not because we don't have people that don't want to be titled.
Okay.
Not because we don't have people that don't want to be titled. Because as you run a company and you go through building a business, one of my previous companies, you and I talked about, I sold it 4 years ago. You're going to make a lot of business as an operator. You have to make adjustments and improve. You just do. And so for us, as we sat there with our team and our executive team, we said, what do we need to do for this not to happen again? Well, guess what? The criteria of becoming a title sponsor just became more difficult. And so it's not something that we spend a lot of money on this event. This is not like an event that we do that is a small event. There's a lot of hard costs for the event. But it changed the guidelines. It changed the guidelines on who we're going with, and we'll entertain different levels of sponsors. But even right now, the lowest level of sponsorship, we're declining, I would say 50% of people that are wanting to become sponsors.
Okay, so you're adjusting the sponsorship guidelines after this kind of debacle.
Absolutely.
So you're thinking about the 1 million, you know, maybe not. You said you're having some other conversations. What about an apology? I know it's usually not that you're not the type, but I think, you know, given the context, you're the biggest name. I mean, like, I cannot overstate this guy. I talked to a lot of the victims in this case. You know, a lot of people, they come in, they see a big name like yours. It's just immediate trust, right? They say, hey, it's Patrick Bet-David. I know that guy. He wouldn't be at the Yankee Stadium with this guy if it was nothing. It wouldn't be the Vault title conference, you know, guy. So to those.
This is why the whole media, like, the public perception of you, like, yes, your reputation precedes you, but, like, don't extend that to human beings whose job it is to be entertaining / like, educating you through their platforms. Like, we have all of these weird, like, mind manipulated parasocial relationships with all these big named human famous people, but we don't actually trust them like they're your blood relative or your best friend or like your grandma or somebody who like is in your immediate circle who's gonna be your ride or die in a zombie apocalypse. Like, are you gonna trust Patrick Bet-David in a zombie apocalypse? Like, why? He's gonna be in a bunker chilling someplace very far away from you while you're struggling and starving and fighting for your life. Like,
People, to the people who may have invested because they saw your name attached, you know, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, and again, fair question. This is what I'll tell you. When you and I become investors, and I'll call a guy that's a guy I respect a lot. He's a billionaire, and he's done a lot of deals, and he'll introduce me to a deal, and I'll get into it and I'll put whatever, $5 million, $2 million, $500,000, $100,000. It doesn't go right. I'm the risk taker. Okay, I'm the risk taker that chose to invest into that deal. The onus is with me, the individual that chose to take the risk. So I took the risk of accepting this guy as the title sponsor. At that time, we didn't find anything. For me to apologize, it's apologizing for a mistake he made? No. What could we have done to find something else? There was nothing else to find what the guy was doing.
Well, the whole pitch of Goliath was 3 to 5% a month. That's just unsustainable. You know that. I know that. Like, everybody knows 3 to 5% a month. That doesn't happen.
There are quite a few guys in the space that do that in a way that's worked for them, that are slightly more conservative. But again, for us, when we're sitting down,
who though? Who? I don't even know who. No, I don't think that's true. I have to push back on that.
Not at a 3 to 5%, but this is not an abnormal model.
It's totally no. The pitch he was making was abnormal. When you actually looked at the pitch he was making, it was completely abnormal. It was not a normal hedge fund.
If you let me finish, I'll tell you my perspective.
Yeah.
This form is not abnormal. The numbers he chose was abnormal. I think the more now we think about it, what this guy was relying on is the following. This is my speculation, and you can take an angle with it or not. I think this guy was hoping that Bitcoin was going to go to $250,000 and he was going to get away with it, and it didn't. And it ended up, putting him in the situation he is right now for $328 million. This guy's going to be facing, many, many years of prison time. This is not a small little crime that he committed. So for us, if I were to tell you, hey, my guys knew and we investigated this and we knew everything about him and we did, I would apologize. We did not know.
I don't think you're apologizing because you knew. I think you're apologizing for not doing the due diligence that someone of your stature.
I've already told you, Stephen, as a leader, the way I have gotten to where I'm at in my life right now is as a leader, I take responsibility for the decisions we've made, and we have to get better when it comes down to this. So we've made the adjustment ourselves as a company. And we've had many conversations with many of the people. And trust me, it's been a lot of late night calls with a lot of different people as they're going through this. This is not a pretty situation, but there is nothing we could have done on our end. If this would have happened, let's just say this happens a week before the vault, a day before the vault, a month before the vault. We're not.
Nothing you could have done. Nothing you could have done, dude. Really? Like, I feel like that's just not true. I feel like that's not true. Especially, like, I gotta think that nobody with that amount of resources, like, this guy is literally making millions of dollars from all of his stuff that he's doing, you don't have, like, to hire a private investigator? Like, how lax or strict were the methods of deciding who you were gonna take on as a sponsor for your event in the first place? Like, what, dude? That doesn't... Nobody who's a normie or like on my economic level, I'm not, because I'm not normal, but like I'm extraordinary. Not saying I'm strange, weird, I'm an odd duck, silly goose on the loose trading, on the loose trying to chase down some lady caboose. But like nobody in my economic tax bracket is gonna hear that and not think that it's BS.
We're not even going through with this. But it happened months after the vault. And there wasn't anything that we could have looked at to say this was an issue. Again, remember, the part
I think you could have looked at his pitch deck. Hold on, I just want to go back a second. There's a few things you said. I don't want to go too far without addressing a few. So you said, look, I think he was betting on Bitcoin going up. I mean, that's not true. He was just taking in wires to Coinbase. Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, I can tell you because I looked into it. So he was just taking in money to Coinbase and just paying out people. All his story about liquidity pools, all that wasn't true. It was just a straight up Ponzi scheme. You said, oh, there's, one thing you said is, look, I'm a leader. I have to own up to my mistakes. Sometimes owning up to your mistakes is just apologizing. Again, it's not a gotcha. I really want to give you the platform because this is the first time you're addressing it to just say, hey, look, I'm not saying that you knew that it was a Ponzi scheme. It was the returns were completely unrealistic. You said that yourself. I mean, if someone can't rely on you to do that due diligence, it's just kind of like you're kind of saying you messed up without saying it, though.
That's an unfair statement to make, but you're doing your part and you're asking me the questions, and I'm giving you my answer, and this is my answer to you.
Right.
Again, if I knew any of this stuff before, of course I have to apologize. If we knew any, and by the way, what's $1 million? Nothing to us.
So why not commit it, though? But why not commit it back to the people who lost money?
Let me make my point. What I mean by this, the $1 million is spent for an event. If we knew a second before the event, this is what's going on, of course we're taking a different position. But we didn't know, Stephen. It's that simple.
So it sounds to me, though, like you're like, hey, look, we spent the money on the event. Too bad, so sad to the people who lost all their money.
That's not what I'm saying. No, I sympathize with everybody. I've lost money.
Like, how much money does Patrick Bet David have that he could just probably just personally give $1 million to back to the thing and be like, yeah, bro, our bad. Like, we supported and helped people get ripped off by a Ponzi scheme, our bad. Like, just how deep in the reptilian brain is this guy where he needs to just hoard and not take, like, we didn't, like, okay, you didn't know, sure, but you know now. Like, hindsight, you can clearly see the progression of how giving him the social credit and the validation sped up the loop of more people giving him more money into his pyramid. Like, so just take the L, bro, and give people back their money. Even if you spent it, like, you have enough. I'm sure you're gonna make more again. And just hold the L, dog. Like,
I don't get to where I'm at without having lost money many
Did you lose money with Chris Delgado?
I didn't invest to lose money. None. And by the way, Stephen, remember this part as well. This is very important for you to share with your audience. Valuetainment got started since 2013. Okay? It's very important for you to know this. From 2013 till today, talk about, we run a consulting firm. I have different companies that I'm running under my holding company. The Vault Conference, speaking fees that I get, everything that we do. How much money you think has gone in my personal pocket? Meaning, how much money you think every year I've taken off the table or I pay myself a salary from all my holding companies outside of the insurance company that I sold? What do you think the number is?
I don't see how this is relevant. You and I both know the way you structure your wealth for tax purposes is a wide variety of ways. So if you tell me it's $0, then it doesn't really.
Question, and I'm giving you the argument for this for you to know, because you said something, and I'm defending that position. Here's the position. Every year, no matter how much money the company makes, I've chosen to not take any money off the table. Meaning none of this money comes back in my pocket. 100% of the money is reinvested in what we're doing. I don't take an income. So it's not like, I know to the public it seems like this is, well, you make the money. I didn't make the money. The money's in the business.
Yeah, but you own the business, though. You own the business, which has the money. But you and I both know. Look, I have an S corp as well, Patrick, and I can play this game. Oh, I took X. I didn't choose to take this from the business. A lot of those are just accounting structural reasons, or hey, you're reinvesting it in the business because you expect to make more in the future. To me, you gotta get to the point of, look, ultimately, the money that was paid to you, this is the critical thing that I just want to, kind of ask you very directly about. The money that was paid to you was not Chris's money, okay? If it was Chris's money, I would understand. It was other
And
people's
so remember when
money.
I told you this at the beginning,
He
Stephen?
had stolen the money. It's stolen money you have, or your business, David Consulting has.
There's a part of this that I shared with you respectfully. I said, I have to go through certain conversations I'm having with them, and you're jumping the gun. And I said to you, there are certain things I cannot talk to you about. This is one of them. The moment we get through where we're at, you're the first phone call we're making.
I'd love to
address
be.
the one question, to address the one question to you.
Yeah.
If we knew any information before, I wouldn't hesitate to apologize. But we didn't.
But your due diligence failed, and you recognize that. That's what you.
He legally can't apologize because then he does definitely have to give the money back, because that's admitting guilt, or like that he did know, or a lawyer somewhere in that crazy world of making arguments could definitely try to make the case that, like, well, you apologized to Coffeezilla publicly right here, so clearly you had some idea. So this is a very, like, measured lawyer legalese answer, because he is trying either to not have to give the $1 million up, or not to pay more by admitting that he knew, or having that be implied in apologizing. Which is honestly kind of frustrating, because obviously we just want to see justice. I want to see justice served, and like an easier thing to do obviously would just be able to give the $1 million, but I'm so certain that some greedy lawyer someplace in the government or otherwise is gonna be like, well, actually, now we're gonna class action lawsuit you because you were part of the Ponzi scheme, or something, to try to get more money out of them. So they gotta like wait for the daddy government to hand out the punishment to see what he actually has to do, which is really slimy and gross. Feels disgusting to me spiritually.
Would apologize for. I'm not saying you're apologizing for knowing it's a Ponzi scheme.
I will gladly. I've already said to you, I man up on the mistake that we have to do a better job with due diligence.
Right, but you're manning up on the mistake. You're manning up on, hey, we got to do better. But you're stopping short of saying, hey, I apologize for not doing better before.
You're fairly a reasonable guy.
Yeah.
Do you think if I found anything, do you think this is worth it to me to go through this? Do you think it's worth it to me to have Steven on Coffeezilla make a video, and I'm getting video saying, hey, what charity do you have that you're getting? You think it's worth it for me to do this? You think the juice is worth it? Like, you think if I knew this is who this guy was, I would have done this? What do you, Steven, respectfully, your opinion. Do you think if I knew this guy was fraud, I'd take the money from him? Your opinion.
I think there were insufficient, like, checks on this. And you agree with that?
The question, though, you're right, they did. Now I know.
Yeah.
What I'm asking you is the question, and see if you can, at least I've been fair with you, see if you can be fair with me.
Sure.
Do you really think if I knew this guy's a criminal, I would have taken a penny from the guy? Give me the credit there at least.
Oh, sorry.
Do you think it?
Sorry. My alarm just went off. Sorry about that. No, I don't. Like, I don't think that if you had known, I don't think if you had known, you would have done it. I don't think you knew. I never said I thought you knew. I said, look, you promoted a guy multiple times, turns out to run a Ponzi scheme. I'd be so, and I sense you have some, kind of like embarrassment. You don't like it, but I just don't understand why it's stopping short of, hey, it just seems like the full mea culpa is not there, and I just don't really understand why. It just seems like, hey, this is the platform to address it. Kind of just, it seems like you have plenty of money. Your company has plenty of money.
I already did address it with you. Yeah, this is going to end up costing me more than $1 million, just so you know that. Like, this is not going to, I'm not winning here in any way. Okay, because of that reason of last year, I can't even take any sponsorship money for title this year. So imagine how much it's cost me to take that guy last year and hire lawyers this year. This has not made my life any better. In no way. It's just become a lot of noise, and I don't like noise. So if
I think we should put it to bed. I think I think you should. I think there's a very clear path to putting this whole thing to bed, saying, hey, look, I've improved my policies going forward. We're going to make it tougher to be a title sponsor. I paid back the money, and I'm sorry to the people who invested. I mean, I feel it's kind of silly, because I feel like in some ways I'm advocating for your fans who might have been there and invested, really, it's not I don't think it was probably a lot of the people who watch me that probably were invested. I think it's your fans. That's kind of why I'm surprised the pushback.
And
I feel like he's starting to go poor me, like how terrible the situation is gonna make and how much more difficult my life's gonna be because this happened to me. When it's like, dude, yeah, sure, like you're losing credibility and like you're damaging your reputation, but like you didn't lose however much money the people who invested in this Ponzi scheme lost because of their trust in you, their faith in you. Like it's damaging your reputation. Like literally, he's giving you the easiest out, except for the fact that it might screw you over legally. Like, and if that's the case, that's what I would say if I was him. I'd be like, well, I can't do that because if I do, I'm gonna get screwed over in court. At least say that, and then after whenever the thing wraps up in court, then I can come out and make a public apology. Until then, I can't do that, or like have communicated that to him prior to doing this interview, because this circular nothing is gonna you're not gonna get a straight answer out of this guy, because now he's playing the victim card of like, do you know how hard my life is now that I fucked up and trusted some guy running a Ponzi scheme? Like, this is so unfortunate for me. God, I can't say he has no empathy for these people, but it's just like making it hard for me to believe that you do, or see any evidence in your discussion with this guy that you care that people who had faith in you got ripped off because you took this sponsor. Like, bro, get fucking real.
And I appreciate that. Trust me, nobody cares about my fans more than I do. And I'm telling my fans that, trust me, the people who don't, there's nothing I can do about them. But the people that have been with us for year after year after year, if they know why they keep coming back, is people trust us, the way we make decisions. If we knew anything a day before that this was going to happen, I would have never taken this money, ever. And if I did, I would have, of course, apologized. But for me to apologize means I knew who he was and I did this. No.
Or you failed to do the due diligence.
We did the due diligence. The due diligence didn't show up any red flag for us to see.
Their business model made no sense. I mean, look. I'll be honest. Hey, let me be transparent about my backstory with this whole case, because maybe you did.
The only thing I will tell you is I can continue this conversation. I literally just landed. I'm in my 3-piece suit. If you want to FaceTime me, sitting by the water. My kids are waiting for me to go in. It's my daughter's 10-year-old birthday yesterday, and I'm on the phone with you. So if you can keep it to 5 minutes, I'll go 5 minutes with you, and then please.
Yeah. Five minutes. Five minutes is fine.
Go ahead.
No, I'll just give you some backstory on this case. Okay, so I got sent this case by somebody. You know, it was very quick to understand. You know, that this was a ridiculous Ponzi scheme. Okay. This wasn't a complicated fraud. As soon as I got his marketing information, as soon as I got a hold of the pitch, it was very clear what they were doing. So that's why that part of it's failing for me. As far as you're saying, look,
You can have that opinion. And by the way, maybe next time we send a message to you and you bill me, so I don't have to deal with something like this. You think I want to deal with if you have this service for me, I would send every one of my.
I think it's going to be $1 million. I think it's going to be $1 million. I'm joking. Look.
You're so funny.
No. So listen. To wrap. Look, I think you've addressed it in the way you want to address it. Final thoughts to you, Patrick. You know, looking back on this whole thing, I don't imagine you'll address it many more times. So, last opportunity to say what you want to say about Chris Delgado and, you know, its impact on you.
It's listen, it's so disappointing to say the least. Very disappointing to say the least. You would have thought this guy's doing the right thing and put us in a situation like this that we have to explain ourselves. And in life, I try to set the example for my kids to never put yourself in a situation that you have to explain a bad decision you made, do it more on the front end. And all we're doing right now is find a way for this to never happen again. And by the way, again, it's important for you to know this, Stephen. You're a guy that does proper due diligence. Go back and watch my last 2 years of podcasts. I don't know how long it's been. Maybe it's a little over 2 years. We've not taken a penny on sponsorship for 2 years on our podcast because this is exactly what I didn't want to deal with. Remember when, what is the SPF thing that happened with?
FTX.
FTX. Yeah, when the FTX thing happened, and everybody was like, "Oh, he took 15 million. Oh, he took 3.5 million. Oh, he took this." I went to my guys. I said, "Guys, I don't want sponsorship money." And so our strategy changed, where we said we're gonna do sponsorship of products that we run, because I'll take responsibility for product that I'm running because I'm the CEO.
Okay, quick question there though, because I'm looking at your show right now. It says Kalshi on your thing, the sports betting. Well, they do prediction markets. Kalshi/PBD. Are you guys partnered with them, and what's that about?
Well, remember, Kalshi is not my what do you call it? Title sponsor. They're a platinum sponsor for the Vol Conference. And remember what I told you. We said we're going Fortune 1000, Fortune 2000. I don't have a problem going with companies that have names, but I'm not going to go with companies that are not names. And Kalshi happens to be a company.
Okay, I was just misunderstanding it, because you said you didn't do sponsors on your show.
No. Kalshi is a vault sponsor that a part of it is the podcast. So there, if you come to the conference, you would see a massive booth for them.
Okay.
Because they're one of the platinum sponsors.
Okay.
And also remember the rule. There have to be an established company. They're an $11 billion company that's a well-known company out there in the marketplace. And me having a podcast that I'm always talking about politics, and we talk, what are these?
Are you into the gambling stuff? I mean, I don't want to go too long, but are you into the gambling? You push that now, or?
I'm not. If you know my profile, I'm not a gambler. I'm not a guy
Okay.
that gambles. But
Okay.
These odds nowadays, they tell you more insight. You know, nowadays these poly markets and Kalshis are more effective than polls.
Well, you know, like 85% of their betting is sports gambling. You know that.
85% of their betting is
Their volume. Sorry.
It's a form of a betting, but for us, it's more for the political side. It's more on the political side where you know they do. These companies are now doing stuff with CNN, with Fox, with others, because it's politics. Everyone's, well, who do you think's going to win? We like I said to you, we don't look at polls anymore. Anyway, Stephen.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you, Patrick. Listen, you got on this on short notice.
You know how to get a hold of me.
You appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bro, so like, yeah, they may make 85% of their money by profiting off of poor people's lack of self-control, but like, man, we just focus on the money. They bet the politics because like it's their angle. We don't really care. It's not our problem that those people are addicts and can't control themselves. Like, that's on them. They need to level up spiritually and get their life together. Which, if you want to do that, click the link in the description and sign up for my coaching course. I can help you. Oh my god, bro. What is this world, dude? What is this world? Absolutely ridiculous. I just cannot even believe that that's somebody who's like a high status or like multi-million-dollar entrepreneur. That's the way that he acts and operates in the world. Like, just disgusting behavior. Can't believe it. Ugh, I think I'm gonna throw up. Gross. Just gross, man. Silver lining is, I guess, hopefully me and you didn't get scammed. So we'll go with that as our silver lining, positive note to end on, I guess. So namaste, have a great day. Slap shooting. It's nighttime soon. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Keep the algorithm satisfied. And if I don't see you while I'm alive, I'll catch you on the flip side after I die. Until then, stay true. Ta-ta. Toodaloo.